Hello once again, everyone. Welcome to Cruisnick's Purgatory. I'm your host, the titular Cruisnick X. Alongside me is Arya Stormborn.
Heyo.
So, you're probably wondering why I'm currently on Tarl Cabot. Well, I kind of derped when I last recorded this, so I have to re-record this stuff, on Tarl, but, I was able to salvage a bit of content, so I won't have to do too much on Tarl, but just the first half of the storyline. So at the time of this recording, I'm just trying to re-record this so that we get it out of the way. But tonight we'll be doing the third and final part of the Return to Evil saga. That was released with patch 4.5, A Requiem for Heroes Part 1. So, when we last left off in the Return to Evil saga, we had just finished the Ritorana Lighthouse. In the process, we lost Bagamnon, who, using the power of the ether sight that he had stolen, he had become the legendary Yasmat.
Say that again? What's that name again?
I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Yasmat or something. I can't pronounce it. Shut up.
They need, like, phonetic after these names so that they get spoken correctly. It's really not fair to us foreigners.
Yeah, you haven't seen Rogadine names.
Yes, we have.
You haven't seen some of the weirder Rogadine names. But anyway, so a lot of questions remain unanswered. For one, how does the Bellevue stuff come into play? What is with all this Orosite, and what the fuck was up with Ramza in the last episode? Because he was nice at first, and then he became the tool bag we all know and love. Or loathe, for that matter. But anyways, so the first part of this will be done. So the first part, all of the cutscenes before the actual gameplay for the Orbone Monastery will be done as Tarl, and then we'll return with Chris and the rest of the gang. So, let's get right down to it with the level 70 quest, The Path of Most Resistance. Greetings and salutations, Tarl. I suppose you're all wondering whether or not the good Genomus has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take us. The good news is, he has. The bad news, however. Now, while it is not in my nature to be sensationalist, sensationalism is in my job description, so please bear with me when I tell you not all is right aboard the ship Lexingtail. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust this information in the hands of my publisher, let alone some sullen gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista away from inquisitive ears? Alright, let's hit the Prima Vista. And we're back on the Prima Vista, where everyone seems to be gathered these days. The question is then, where exactly did Ramza and his fellowship journey next? Miss me, assholes? Ah, Tarl. To what do we owe this unexpected visit? I had not planned on summoning you for another several turns of the sun. And of course they're all worried. I apologize if we have caused you any worry. I suppose one cannot allow a reporter in their midst and not expect her to report what she sees. Though I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Murla. Alma has, as of late, been experiencing difficulties with her health. Chirurgeons have been called upon to discern what exactly it is that ails her, but as far as they can tell, there is nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consensus is the rigors of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her fragile heart. And here comes Alma, looking somewhat worse for wear.
Tarl, when did you...
Alma!
I'm fine, brother.
It is obvious you are not! You must return to your chambers and rest!
Forgive me. Perhaps we shall speak again once I regain my strength. Until then, please, look after my father.
Man, I look good with those glasses. Now then, where were we? Ah, yes. The matter of our next expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the Esterstans, the Damascan capital of Rabanasta appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Lesalia, ancient capital of the lost kingdom of Ivalice. Shortly thereafter, we stumbled across remnants of the legendary clockwork city of Gouge, cleverly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Ridorana Cataract, remnants which now sit suspended above the fathomless chasm. Lesalia, Gouge. What have they in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' account of the rise of Ivalice, the Durai Papers. And with each new discovery, this forbidden chronicle is now proving Evolution legend to be more fact than fairy tale. There is no denying the proof, and it is but a matter of time before scholars and historians from across the realm come to the same conclusions. But as you all are aware, my aim has never been to simply prove the existence of Ivalice. No, I shall not rest until I have revealed the truth of young Ramza's role in King Dalita's ascension, and cleared my ancestor, Oron Dural, of the false accusations made against him by the Church. should we not see to Alma first? Kugane's Kaijins would have us believe she is in no immediate danger, as her illness is not one of the body, but of the mind. To borrow their words, her spirit is in a state of unbalance and merely requires time to right itself. That does not make sense. Alma will be fine as long as she remains in bed. The last thing she needs is any further excitement, especially at the paws of those meddlesome mole bots. Though I must admit, both Mont Blanc and his brother have proven more useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I am the first in the field. Or was it the furriest in the field? Would you like to feel my fur, Kupo? And you wonder why Ramza despises you so, brother? They do all the work and all you do is jest, Kupo. Ah, but you are mistaken, Herdy. I bear neither you nor your brother any ill will. Any further ill will, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contributions. His thanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venom-spitting adder we all used to know and hate? Alma certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not buying into this all-too-convenient transformation.
Simply showing the world that Ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the Durai papers.
That is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Bellevue. If we can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Oron's testimony true and safeguard our family name from ridicule.
Which is why I turned focus of my research to Delita's forgotten companion and his actions during the War of the Lions. It was only then I discovered something most intriguing. An underlying struggle with an unknown force. A force with the power to bring about calamitous ruin.
Urusite! The twisted abominations we encountered in both Lasalia and Gouge. The Lucavi. They are born of these unholy crystals. While nobles of the north and south squabbled over Ivalice's crown, Ramza silently sought to rid the world of a darker evil. Evil manifest from the deepest desires of men and women whose minds had fallen prey to the Urusite.
And with each confrontation did Ramza's fellowship grow smaller. Countless companions lost to a cause that would go unwritten, yet was far more important than any clash of armies. And so did they endure, until reaching their final destination, the Orbone Monastery.
Oh, I know this one! The Orbone Monastery is where Princess Ovelia was raised. There is a scene about it in the Zodiac Brave story. After the leader emerged victorious in his final campaign, he married the princess to legitimize his claim to the throne of Ivalice.
Ah, I see someone has been paying attention.
But I don't understand. Why would Ramza's crusade against the Lucavi take him back there? According to the Durai papers, the sinister being who engendered the Urusite was said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. But who, or what, would have the means to create something so powerful?
Ultima. the High Seraph.
A seraph? What's a seraph?
Seraphs are believed by some to be the servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal masters. As to whether or not Ultima can claim this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there are those who would choose to worship Ultima and her otherworldly might, there were equally as many who feared the visitor and her deadly magics, oft referring to her as the Angel of Blood for the carnage left in her wake.
Interesting. If the spell Tarl claims to have experienced in the Praetorium, coincidentally also called Ultima, was in fact an elegant interpretation of the very magics introduced to Hydaelyn by the High Seraph. But that would mean... What would that mean? I have spoken with several colleagues back in Sharlayan regarding their opinions on the ancient incantation, and while they yet have little to show for their research, they all agree on one thing. The manner in which Ultima ethereally manifests should not be possible, at least on Hydaelyn. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered that the Allagans learned the spell from a being not of this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they convinced the being to impart that knowledge unto them. Not of this plane? What manner of creature are we talking about here?
Likely one similar to Omega. And Sid comes in all his glory. How long have you been listening from the shadows, my friend? Long enough. I am here to deliver the item Mikoto requested.
Sid, there was no need for you to deliver it personally. A Moogle would have sufficed.
A Moogle? And trust that he won't tear open the package and show it to some random adventurer? No, this was far too important.
If you two don't mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Orbone Monastery.
Would that I could.
You don't know? Then what have we been doing here?
At ease, Lady Murla. The Durai papers speak of a cataract situated on the Whoops, I fucked up that one. The Durai papers speak of a cataract situated on the river Zershel, several leagues southeast of Rabanasta. There supposedly lies the monastery.
Zershel is not a name you will find on any modern Dalmascan map. Rivers, however, especially ones as large as the Zershel, is established to be are rare in a nation more than half claimed by the sand. The river we seek can only be that which bisects Golmore on the Nagjan River. And for that invaluable information, we owe thanks to our brothers Moogle. Their travels have made them veritable authorities on Dalmascan geography. Wait, but earlier you claimed you didn't know the monastery's whereabouts. I'm confused.
Its location is not what concerns me, but perhaps the Moogles themselves should explain.
Why, certainly! That verdant valley of vines and vipers to where we must voyage next is home to the Viera, and therein lies our little problem. The one thing the Viera do not suffer is trespassers, not even lovable Moogles, Kubo! Our glamours kept us hidden long enough to see that the jungle was teeming with ruins, much like those we've discovered in Lasalia and Gouge. But the Viera trackers eventually found us and took us before their elders. We barely... So that is why we are still here talking instead of bound for the border.
There are Viera who have spurned the strict code of their tribes, abandoning their people to come and live in the cities of Dalmasca. Finding and recruiting one to our cause might provide us with insight into how to reach the Orbone Monastery ruins.
Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a Banga on the docks. He asked me if I knew a Tarl Cabot, and bid I deliver him a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista, so that he might deliver that message himself, but the man refused. Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your exact specifications, but I cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had nary a subject to test it on.
Of course, Master Sid. If any trouble is met, then most likely it is my design that is to blame.
Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. Alright, I need a quick drink. Alright, let's go. Oh wait, we gotta speak with Mikoto first. So, wanna explain what that was all about?
I sense that you are interested in the package Sid delivered. I have every intention to apprise you of its contents, but first, I believe we should speak of Alma's condition. Do you not find her illness all too timely? Genomus and Ramza would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo are not but a result of a mind fatigue, but the answer is clear. It is the Orosite that plagues her. Alma recently confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with the Otius, well before even his first foray into Rabanasta. However, I do not think this entirely true. Which is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the Orosite. Moreover, I suspect it was the Orosite itself that granted her this vision. You recall my hypothesis on distinct frequency NRR-type harmonic vibrations and their tendency to promote ethereal amplification. Or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal's possession for an extended period, the Odious exhibited none of the imprinting present in the Duma. No. The Odious has never resonated with Genomus. It has always been his wife's pendant and its Orosite's shard, the Virgo, that fueled his passion for Evilise. No, the Otius is bound to Alma's deepest desires, whatever those may be. The only reasons I can fathom that Alma has not fallen victim to the Orosite's grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those we have witnessed in Argath or Bagamnan. That and the ethereal interference caused by other nearby shards. I've explained all of this to Alma and recommend that she destroy the necklace. Yet not only did she refuse, but she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so I did the only thing I could. I devised a means with which I might impede, or at least lessen, the effects of the Otius. This device while still incomplete, will amplify the NRR wavelengths emitted by the Virgo. This should work to interfere with those emitted by the Odious, thereby shielding Alma from the brunt of their effect. The city below is all abuzz with word of a Bongon brigand loitering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know, Kupo?
Oh, it's definitely someone we know. Luckily, I only have to re-record this stuff and then afterwards frickin'... Arya, you still with us? I think she has her mic muted. Anyway, hey, it's Bloggy. Let's chat with him. Apologies, Tarl, but I needed to speak with you, and you alone.
Oh, don't mind me, Kubo. I'll just be floating over here in perfect earshot.
Why you? What makes you think I won't lay you low right here, right now?
Because we're here to offer you a proposition, that's what. We need information on the Gomori jungle, and thought a man as well-traveled as you might be persuaded to provide some.
Gomori? You of all creatures should know that is Viera land. What are you offering then?
Why, the opportunity to tell us what you know. Genomus believes our next adventure lies beneath the jungle canopy, Kupo.
I should have expected as much. Very well, Tarl. I came to ask if you would meet someone. Now it seems that someone may be able to assist Genomus as well. Seeing as you and the principal did right by us before, I do not see a reason why I cannot take both of you. Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanasta. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention. You know what? We're gonna take a quick break on the live stream just so I can figure out what the heck's going on with Arya's microphone, because I can't hear her for crap. I think she may be talking with someone, but I'm not even sure at that point. But we'll see what's going on. Anyway, with that being said, that's it for this particular episode of Kruznik's Purgatory. Special thanks to Arya Stormborn for joining us, even though I think her mic's muted. For those of you watching on Twitch, stay tuned because we will have more. But for those of you watching on Twitch or live at PlayStation, if you're watching this and you like this show, click the follow button below and be sure to turn on notifications so you're informed of all of my live streams and videos the moment they air. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Click here to watch more by me. Click here to watch the next episode. And click here to watch the previous one. Until next time, Kruznik X, signing out.